This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in to the Royals POSTCAST here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the way. Follow me on Twitter at Chance Liebau. It's right by my name tag here on the live stream. If you're not here live, don't worry. These episodes are always uploaded for you to listen to on demand wherever you get your podcasts, or if you are interested, you can always watch it on YouTube after the fact. I want to say thank you for making the Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals POSTCAST your first listen of the day. Before we get started here, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live. Thanks for joining the show, and feel free to join the live chat and let me know your thoughts on the game and the series overall, and I'll do my best to get to the comments around the end of the show. Royals win 7-4. I had all but expected a 7-0 win, but Andrew Hoffman decided to make things a little bit more interesting there at the end. And obviously the Royals were able to salvage a really poor series in Miami. I don't think this pushes them any closer to a playoff spot, a buying position, but just a win that at the end of the day, it's a win, and you kind of got to cherish the wins when you can get them, especially when you have a team like the Royals have had this season where they don't really come by that often. But it wasn't the greatest start. The offense came in spurts, and then droughts were to follow, similar to what we've seen from them this season. Let's get into it. Let's start us out with what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right. The offense getting things together finally, second time through the order. I mean, we've seen it many times this season where the Royals just look dead up there at the plate. First 9 batters, 9 up, 9 down. Jansen Junk didn't give up a hit through the first 9. And then all of a sudden, Vinny, a little soft liner. Bobby has a double, a hustle double. Vinny, soft little liner. Michael singles him in, or sac flies him in, and then it busts open when Jack Caglione hits a 2-run double to get really the offense into high gear and give them the cushion that they would eventually need there at the end of the game. Obviously, when they needed that cushion at the end because of the bad pitching in the back end of the Royals bullpen. But the offense gets enough. Jack Caglione, I was very impressed by him today. I was, all of his at-bats today, I was very, very happy with what I saw from him. First at-bat, whatever. Second at-bat, obviously that double into the gap. And then third at-bat, I mean, he absolutely hammers a line drive to the left fielder that was still carrying when the ball was caught. I mean, you saw the left fielder. I think it was Stowers out there and left today for the Marlins. That ball was still carrying when Stowers caught it, kind of caught him off guard. But the Royals were able to get a good day out of him. He had a nice catch in right field where he got a good jump on the ball and was able to make a play. Very, very impressed by Jack Caglione today. And then just the overall balance of the Royals lineup. Everybody but Michael and Freddie got hits that started. And then you get a 2-hit day out of Kyle Isbell. And listen, I'm not a huge Kyle Isbell fan. I don't think he can be your starting center fielder in 2026. He can maybe be your 4th outfielder. But one thing that guy can do is he can lay down a bunt. I think Kyle Isbell might be the best bunter in all of baseball. He is really good at getting him down and has done an excellent job for the Royals this season at doing that. Gets a bunt hit, gets the offense kind of kicking into high gear. And then Jonathan India, 2-run double. I mean, it was all parties involved today by the Royals offense. I loved what I saw from them today. Just the consistency, stringing along hits. That's kind of what you want to expect from the offense on a day like today, where you're just trying to get out of Miami with a win. You're trying to go into a series with one of the best teams in all of baseball against the Cubs with a little bit of positive vibes. And they were able to do that. Just very content with what I saw from the offense today. Not exactly pleased with them going 9 up, 9 down, or no hits through the first 9 batters, but really, really thought it was a solid day for the offense. I don't know if it's something you can string together consistently, because kind of like the Royals today, the Marlins had, Jansen Junk, who's pitched really well this season to a certain degree, but they hit him really well. He's not a top line pitcher. He's not a guy that's going to draw a ton of interest from other teams. So they dinged him around pretty good. And then Obviously, the two guys in the back end of the bullpen were kind of their versions of Taylor Clark and Andrew Hoffman, since their bullpen had already been fairly taxed in a couple of wins in the series already. So they weren't going to throw out their high leverage guys. So the Royals were able to, get some confidence back from the first two games of the series with this win. But overall, the series was literally a loss. They lost 2 out of 3. Does not move the needle for me whatsoever. I doubt it moves the needle for JJ and company. But if they sweep the Cubs, then things get a little bit more dicey, a little bit more interesting. The decision becomes a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I think that this was a fine outing for the Royals. Needle not moved whatsoever, but a bright sign to see the offense finally have a front-to-back, all-around day. They don't do this very often, but when they do, it's nice to see. I thought Kris Bubic was good today, and we'll get to that in our second segment. But Salvador Perez he continues to just laser beam baseballs. I was on Jack's show a couple of days ago, maybe it was a week ago. I can't exactly remember. It's been the weeks and stuff are just flying by. My full-time job has got me taxed right now. I'm exhausted. Jalen talks about it in the chat. Salvy's been getting hot too. 350 in the month of July, 6 homers in his last 10. We were talking about, what the expectations for him going forward. I mean, I don't even know what the bar is for Salvy anymore because he just keeps hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball up in the air. I mean, he's been a revelation for this Royals lineup. Having him, I was listening in the car. I was at the grocery store listening. I had my AirPods in at the grocery store, like a total, what's my generation, Gen Z loser. I was at the grocery store and listening to the game. And then I'm on the way home and listening to the game. And obviously the two runners get on. Bobby and Vinny get on. And Vinny's at first. Bobby's at second with 1 out. And it was Garcia at the plate, and Steve Stewart didn't say it was Garcia. And I had always been, Salvy always bets after Vinny. I was like, oh, man, here we go. Salvy's going to ground into a double play, and it's going to be, a nightmare situation all over again. It was Michael, and obviously he got a fly ball. But Salvy has just turned his season around. Like early in the season, you look back to May and June, I was in a position where it's like Salvy is a net negative for this team because he grounds out into double plays. He doesn't put the ball in the air deep enough. He doesn't have good at bats. And now he's making pitchers who make mistakes. He's making them hurt. And I was obviously at a family reunion yesterday, and we were talking about Jack Caglione, and they were talking about, well, he's got to learn to lay off of those down and in pitches. And I was like, they said, well, Salvy, doesn't lay off those low and away ones. And I said, well, Salvy, when a ball gets grooved middle, Salvy makes it hurt. He will take advantage of a mistake. That's what Salvy has been able to do this season, more so later here in this season, the last month or so. He's been able to punish the mistakes, and I think that's something he didn't do early in the season. He wasn't taking advantage of balls right down Main Street. He was being a little bit too passive in the zone. He was being a little bit more inconsistent, and that's kind of my rebuttal. A guy like Jack Caglione, I hate to turn Salvy talk into Cags talk, but I said a guy like Jack Caglione needs to make those mistakes hurt. He is kind of being a little bit too picky because he's having bad approaches at the plate. He's being too inconsistent. So Salvy being able to make the mistakes hurt, not being as passive. I'm somebody who I like Jonathan India's approach to the plate. He's going to work a count. He's going to get you to 8 pitches in an AB. That's what a leadoff guy is supposed to be. Salvy is a guy that just doesn't have that approach, and I kind of have to learn to live with that. And he's able to make the mistakes hurt. So I was very happy, and I'm really happy with what Salvy's been doing. I think that he is a guy that, if he continues this late in the season, he's a guy that can, I don't know if I could say carry the offense, but push the offense into a position where they could accidentally compete if they decide to sell. And then Salvy gets them hot enough where they win some games. I mean, he's been the bus driver to pull HUD's quote. I'm trying to get the Locked On people to have instead of the here's what you'll be talking about, we could do a here's who drives the bus segment. And Salvy has been that guy here in the last month or so. When the Royals are successful and having good offensive days, a lot of it rests on the fact that Salvy is having a solid day at the plate and not costing them runs by grounding into countless double plays. But so I was happy with the offense. That's my opinion on the offense. When we come back from the break, I'll detail Kris Bubic's outing, what I liked, didn't like Matt Quattro's decision to pull him, why I think he did, and then we'll get into the Chicago series, go through the projected starters, and much more. That's all coming up next here on the Royals Postcast. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with your order? Supply House offers expert and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburnt at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. I was surprised by Kris Bubic's outing today. Jack and I were kind of hand in hand when he did his who do you think is going to step back and struggle in the second half? Who do you think is going to break out in the second half? I was lockstep with him with Michael Garcia and Kris Bubic potentially taking steps back in the second half because they're both first-time All-Stars, guys we haven't seen it do for the long run. So I was kind of on the boat that those guys would take a step back. Kris Bubic was lights out today. Really good, and I get it. It's not a great Marlins offense, but it is one that's been hitting well recently. He goes 5 innings, allows 3 hits, walks just 1, and strikes out 2. All 4 pitches were strikes. The fastball was playing up like we've seen it do early in the season, but not so much recently. And for him, a lot of people were curious on why he was pulled after 66 pitches. I mean, he pitched in the All-Star game on Tuesday, and I get that's a 5-game or a 5-day break, technically a 5-day rest period. But I would imagine that maybe he was feeling a little bit fatigued, or maybe Matt Quatraro was playing it a little bit safe. They could potentially have him on an innings limit going into the second half. Or maybe they, early in the season, remember the Yankees series when they pushed Bubic back to give him an extra day of rest. It would not surprise me if they did that with him in the second half a little bit more often, because remember, this is a guy that is removed from Tommy John surgery. Last year threw only 30-ish innings, and now you're relying on him to be a 175-inning guy, and a guy that you count on next year. And so when you look at the body of work that he's had this season, you probably want to make sure he's good to go for 2026 if that's your competitive window is 2026 instead of 2025, because you can't have what happens. You cannot have what happened with Cole Reagans this year happen to Bubic next year when you want to be making a postseason push. You cannot have him dealing with elbow issues or a sore shoulder or any of those issues, or even, God forbid, a legitimate arm injury that keeps him out for the full season. But I was very, very happy with what he showed today, and it would not surprise me if he's on an innings limit or one of those, something along those lines, to start the second half, go into the second half. But also, I do these immediately after every Royals game, so I don't get the opportunity to listen to Matt Quatraro in post game. He could have been dealing with some kind of injury that we don't know about, but I thought the pitching staff, I know that I got some pushback for my thoughts on Lugo on Friday, and I'm fine with that. It's okay to have a different opinion. I know that I'm not always going to be the most popular opinion in the room, but I wasn't upset with how Lugo pitched on Friday. I thought Waka was really good yesterday outside of the first inning when he struggled a little bit, but he was really good yesterday. And then Kris Bubic was stellar today. Now, I do not know what the pitching staff is going to look like going into the Cubs series. I haven't seen Jack's tweet about the projected starters They might have talked about on the broadcast today, but I didn't hear it because I was listening to the game on the radio. But looking at it right now, FanGraphs has their projected starters. It looks like it'll be Noah Cameron tomorrow against Chris Flexen. And they currently have Rich Hill as the projected starter on Tuesday, going up against Matthew Boyd and then Seth Lugo and Colin Ray in the finale. The bullpen getting a little bit taxed today. You saw Andrew Hoffman struggle a little bit. You saw some of those guys not pitch well. Sam Long is on borrowed time right now, I would imagine. But it would not surprise me if Rich Hill makes a start on Tuesday, considering that the bullpen got pretty exposed today against the Marlins. So it wouldn't surprise me, but we'll have to wait and see. I have not heard exactly what is going to happen on Tuesday, but we'll be sure to let you know when that does happen. All right, tomorrow, I am going to do my best to give you guys a show tomorrow. I don't know if Jack's even going to have a podcast tomorrow. He might record one tonight and have it released in the morning, but I am going to be out at our I have work starting at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. tomorrow, and then until about 5 o'clock tomorrow. So about 12 hours of work outside in the heat. I would assume I'll be able to get you a podcast, but I know that myself and Jack and some of my coworkers might be going out to celebrate the long day of work. So I'll do my best to get you guys a podcast. I'll tweet it out if I'm not able to, but I do appreciate you guys being here. If we don't get one out tomorrow, there will not be one tomorrow if I'm not able to get it done, because Jack will be with me. So he's usually our backup option, but I appreciate you guys for battling with me yesterday if you guys were there. But appreciate you guys for being here in the live chat today. And then obviously we'll be back to regular on Tuesday and on Wednesday. And then an off day on Thursday. I'll probably be on Jack's show on Thursday, but I won't speak for him. So I appreciate you guys being here. Congratulations to the Royals on salvaging the series. We'll be back at some point this week with another Royals postcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network.